Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing out there? I hope you're still alive and well after the federal government has been leaking our war plans to everybody all over the world, apparently. I don't know what's going on out there, my friends, but it sounds to me like we may have some incompetent, unqualified people in Donald Trump's cabinet. And I don't think it's too far-fetched for me to say that. So we have got a lot going on. Of course, we're going to talk more about this leaked war plans signal group chat thing. But I think it speaks more to the bigger problem, obviously, going on with Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans, elected officials, the MAGA movement as a whole, as basically right now we're staring down the barrel of the MAGA movement just trying to absolutely destroy the country with either their carelessness or other things at play. Their what would you call it? Their loyalty to Donald Trump and all of his stupidity. I don't really know, my friends, but we are finding out very quickly that we are in a world of shit. These guys never cease to amaze us, do they, with how goddamn stupid they can be. So yeah, we'll talk about this whole thing, what we know so far, and then of course we'll pick on MAGA closer to the end of the video, like we always do, right? You gotta pick on them a little bit because, well, they deserve it. So as we know, recently, what is his name? Mike Waltz. I'll be honest with you, I don't really know his position, but he is the one, from my understanding, that started this group chat on Signal, where he invited in DUI hire Pete Hegseth, Russian asset Tulsi Gabbard, couchfucker JD Vance, and I don't know who all else was in there, but they had invited a journalist into this Signal group also. As we know, as the story's fucking huge because of how goddamn stupid it is. And they discussed their plans for the bombings in Yemen without knowing who was in the group text, but her emails, my friends, but her emails. For one, from my understanding, and should be the understanding of the fucking people in these positions, they should be using secured channels, excuse me, secured channels to have these kind of communications. They probably shouldn't be using apps that you can get off the fucking Play Store to organize and orchestrate bombing operations in other countries. Now, we could get into the question about should we be bombing shit in the first place. Hell, I don't really know, my friends. I'm not much of an expert on foreign affairs, but it does strike me as a little bit odd that Donald Trump is the anti-war president, according to, sorry, I've been having some throat issues for like a fucking week now, so I apologize for all that disgustingness that I'm doing. But according to Donald Trump and all of his followers, Donald Trump is the anti-war president who is now bombing other countries, who has almost pushed the world towards World War III. I think we've kind of cooled off a little bit since then, but he's still talking about Canada becoming the 51st state, taking over Greenland, taking over the Panama Canal, and also designating the cartels as a terrorist organization, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I would say that maybe that's an acceptable thing. Hear me out. But my understanding is once you designate them as a terrorist organization, then you can start bombing in the country that they're in, which could be very fucking problematic, right? Now, the part I was trying to say when I said hear me out, was because obviously the cartels are involved in a lot of crazy shit. It's the part where you can start bombing that obviously is disturbing. But if I'm misunderstanding that, not sure how that all works, feel free to correct me on that. But anyways, what are these top cabinet officials in the Donald Trump administration doing right now? Blaming everybody else. How about that? That's really cool, isn't it? Pete Hegseth needs to fucking resign. This Mike Waltz fella needs to fucking resign. Tulsi Gabbard needs to resign. Marco Rubio needs to resign. And JD Vance needs to resign. But you know what? Even worse than that, the buck stops here at the president, right? Well, President Donald Trump has blamed the app. Well, you know that sometimes this app is glitchy. So Donald Trump also trying to deflect responsibility from him and his administration. Look, I understand that he wasn't involved in this, but The president, the commander-in-chief, needs to take responsibility. And that responsibility can come in a lot of different forms, like getting rid of these fucking clowns. That's an option. That's something we could do. Because what we don't need, my friends, is fucking our top intelligence officials having discussions about military strikes on unsecured fucking Play Store fucking apps. That's what we don't need. And if Donald Trump is acknowledging that it's a problem with the app, then he needs to figure out why his incompetent failures that he had put into our government are using such an app. And since they've put in so much national security at risk, they need to be the fuck out of there. It's almost like some people probably knew that these people were incompetent, but somehow, for some reason, still decided to approve them, whatever the fucking process is called. I forget what it's called. The word escapes me. Where they go through the goddamn process, the Senate hearings, and then they fucking vote. Remember, you know the process. I'm just a guy in a truck. I'm doing my best here, my friends. I'm doing my best. But this is where the bigger fucking problem with this entire MAGA movement and these bootlicking, spineless, coward fucking Republicans that are so goddamn worried about their job if they get to keep getting elected and keep their fucking job, that they never stand up to Donald Trump. This is the biggest fucking problem in our country. They're so goddamn worried about their job. So I want to give credit where it's due, and I don't have any names right in front of me. I forgot them. But there are some people out there on the MAGA side, more to do with, well, Piers Morgan. I don't like giving him fucking credit at all. I don't like the douchebag. But he did say this is a colossal fuck up. So we got to at least give him some credit for that, right? But there's people out there like that are saying, hey, this is a problem. This shouldn't happen. And somebody needs to lose their job over this, right? But the vast majority of people out there are still kissing Trump's ass after a massive national security breach. Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday. Oh, I fucking can't stand this woman. I can't stand her. She was asked by, I think, a British reporter or something to that effect. Did you guys see this news clip? She was asked about this this breach where Marjorie Taylor Greene did some trailer trash shit, and I'm allowed to say that because I'm from the trailer park also. I got in trouble once by a viewer told me I'm not allowed to say white trash because it's a derogatory and racist term. I'm white trash, baby. I'm allowed to say that one. That one's mine. I get to say it. So Marjorie Taylor Greene does some trailer trash shit and notices that this woman has an accent. Asked her what country she's from. I believe her response was the UK. And Marjorie Taylor Greene then proceeded to tell her, guess what? Why don't you go back to your country? Why don't you go worry about what's going on in your own country? And then she said something about women being raped. Marjorie Taylor Greene just yelled that. I don't fucking understand these people and their rationale, how they come up with all these fucking things. But she refuses to say that all these people were wrong. And everybody involved in that conversation was 100% wrong. Look, I don't know. I fucking have never been in the federal government. I've never been in the military. One time when PlayStation 5 was brand new, I hauled a load of PS5s across the country and I was sworn to secrecy on that shit. I had to drive. They said, do not stop this truck for the first 100 miles. You are not allowed to stop. And then after 100 miles, you're allowed to kind of do your own thing. Do not tell fucking anybody what's in this trailer. And you know what? Those PS5s made it. There was no Signal group chat about my PS5s. Nobody fucking knew that I had them. Do you know why? Because when somebody tells me to shut my fucking mouth, I understand to shut my fucking mouth. But the problem, god damn it, that I'm trying to get to with this is these fuckers, these fucking bootlicking goddamn simps, these elected Republicans here. I don't know what Lindsey Graham's point of view is on this, but fuck it, fuck Lindsey Graham. We'll throw him in the basket with these assholes. These Lindsey Grahams, these Jim Jordans, these Marjorie Taylor Greenes, these Lauren Boeberts, Mike Johnson, ugh, gross. Every one of them have obviously been a problem for a long time with pushing Donald Trump's agenda, with being so fearful of losing their jobs, losing their elected position if they stand up to Donald Trump, that they have let Donald Trump steamroll their asses for a lot of years now. Like I always say, this will be this time in American history will be remembered for cowardly people that did not stand up for what was right and wrong, and all they worried about was protecting their own asses. Now that we've reached a point where this is actual national security on the fucking line. We are giving away military secrets in signal chats, apparently. And nobody's getting fired for it. Nobody's losing their jobs. Nothing's going to happen to them. They're going to blame the reporter. They're going to blame the app. They're going to do everything to act like they weren't the responsible party. And my question to you, my friends, if they're not the responsible party in this country, then who the fuck is? The very people at the top of our country, the very top people, Pete fucking Hegseth. I didn't put him there. I thought he was disqualified to start with, but he's there. So if they're taking no responsibility, then as a country, I don't necessarily like to use this term. I feel like I'm too old for it, but we're fucking cooked, my friends. We're done if we can't if these people refuse to take any fucking responsibility. And that's the real fucking scary, concerning part about this. There needs to be, obviously, all the Democrats are pissed. Of course they are, right? And I would like to think that if we had such a huge fuck up on our side, that they would be equally pissed. And if we ever cross that bridge, I better be on this fucking camera saying, hey, Democrats, it's time to step the fuck up and do the right thing here. If we're ever on that side, I better do the right thing also and hold them accountable. But we are not able to get a lot of Republicans to say this is wrong. I don't know if there's impeachments for these positions. I don't know if there's ways to force them to resign or just fucking fire them. But that is the point we are at now in this country, because we cannot fucking have that. While Donald Trump is doing all this saber rattling, pissing off the entire world, it is frustrating that he does that. Don't get me fucking wrong. It's very frustrating that he does that. But it would feel a whole lot safer if the people at the top were competent, because that's how we survived Donald Trump's first term. There were people at the top that were competent. They told him no, and they stood in his way when he wanted to do crazy shit. Well, now, not only do we got yes men for Donald Trump that will not prevent him from doing crazy shit. As a matter of fact, they will encourage it. It turns out they're also fucking incompetent. How about that? JD Vance was in that chat talking about how he doesn't agree with the president, and maybe he doesn't understand the gravity of the situation, but we better go ahead and do what he says, right, JD Vance? And these spineless fucking cowards have finally taken this country to the fucking brink, to the fucking edge now. It was one thing when they were, I mean, you can't even excuse it. I was going to say it was one thing when they were, and what, like fucking up the schools, like making sure school children couldn't eat like good Christians do, or taking away the rights of women, having women die because they couldn't get medical attention, trying to take away women's rights to vote because they got married, sort of a head of household type vote under this bill they're trying to pass. I would love to say it was one thing when they were doing that, but all that shit's pretty fucking terrible too, isn't it? But now we're at the point where just military secrets are just flying around fucking apps. By the way, a point I forgot to bring up, apparently the passwords of these assholes are all over the dark web right now, like Tulsi Gabbard's, Pete Hegseth's, and what have you. The name's in there. Apparently their Signal passwords or some sort of password is flying all over the fucking dark web now, so their devices are compromised, and I don't know what to say, my friends. This is why I laugh, because we don't have a fucking prayer if this is the way we're acting in this fucking country. And it is all because a few spineless elected officials in America refuse to stand up to Donald Trump because they are fearful that they will not get reelected. So their election matters more to them than all the things they've taken away before, but now it matters more than actual national security. How the fuck you like that? Anyways, kind of a rant, kind of a tangent today, kind of all over the place, but that's just the way I feel about the situation. I got to get back to work. I got shit to do. Love you guys. Bye now.